All right, so you get a lot of guys who live in the Northeast. Me, I live in the great state of New York. Excuse me. Big complaint around here, right? Of course, is rust, body rust especially, frames rotting, etc., etc. And if you'll notice, my 05 Silverado is pretty rust-free. All things considered, you know, it ain't perfect. Cab, rockers are getting a little bit ugly and stuff like that, but it's in pretty good shape overall for its age. So the first step is what we're gonna do. Got it up on the ramps. I'll jack the back up and throw some jack stands under it, or some blocks under the tires, and then we're gonna give this thing a really thorough pressure wash, and I'll show you kind of a good way to do that and make sure that you get everything that matters. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is go ahead and remove your spare tire. That'll expose all the this section of the frame here, where you can make sure you wash and then later crown. Now we'll go down here. You're gonna want to remove, so we're going toward the front of the truck. You're gonna want to remove your skid plates. So on these Chevys, you got a transmission. You got an engine skid plate here. This aluminum one, nice thick aluminum. It's not really that heavy though, because it's aluminum, so don't worry about crushing yourself too bad. Then you're gonna want to remove this plastic kind of air dam skid plate thingy. Here, I'll show you the view from the front of the truck on that. And this one's got three bolts up there, a couple down there. You can see I'm looking toward the back of the truck now. So I'm gonna take that one off. And then you're going to want to go to your rockers. So this is the inside of the rocker panel. And come on, camera. You got all these little black plugs here. You want to pull all those out. You're going to want to pressure wash through these holes. And focus. Pressure wash in all of these holes. These are all the drain holes to the rockers. Basically every vehicle is the same, just they look a little different, but they have all the same input and kind of output areas. And then you can see there's all salty dirt on here, so we're gonna wash all that off. You're gonna go all the way down the rocker with that. God, this sun's killing me. Try to get this up in there. There we go. Go all the way down the rockers there, and then we'll just obviously pressure wash the whole undercarriage. So you can see we've got a dog. Hey dog. We got a nice pile of parts here. So it's that front plastic super plate I showed you. Took all these little bumpers out of the rockers, or plugs, and then we got all the bolts. That was from the skid plates. Good to anti-seize these, which is surprising. I anti-seize every single bolt pretty much ever, and I don't see any on here, so I missed them at some point. But anyway, now interesting thing for you Northeasterners, see all the salt sitting inside the spare tire? That's all combination of dirt and salt, right? So that's all inside this rim, and it's going to want to rat out this rim. And here's the thing, if you don't wash this out, take the tire off and wash this out with a pressure washer, that's all going to sit in there for the whole summer, the whole next winter. More is going to accumulate, and then now even more is in there, because the rainwater coming under the frame doesn't really clean stuff like that off, especially with how tucked away this is. It might pull some of it, but now if you flip it over, this is the side of the tire that's facing down, and then therefore obviously there's not much on it, but there's still some shit stuck on there, so it's good to clean it all off. Just helps prevent rust. And here's the thing, if we go back onto the truck, mind you, it's early April, so the roads here have really just finally gotten washed off, which is why I'm doing this. But if we go under here, as I showed you before, you can see, oh man, lighting is terrible. There we go. You can see all the salty, dirty rust, or dirty salt combination stuck to the insides of the rockers. And then if you look really close, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out on camera, but that's inside the rockers to some degree too. So you want to flush all that crap out of there. And then that way it's not sitting there, most of the summer or all summer and just eating and rusting the vehicle out. The other thing you're going to want to do when you power wash, if you look, so on this truck, 05 Silverado, this is all open C-channel frame, right? So the frame is all open. You can easily spray it all out. Check for dirt and debris tucked in the bottom, spray all that out. However, on newer trucks with fully box frames and sections of these older trucks, you can see it goes from C-channel here to fully boxed over here. Right here. It's hard to see all this stuff. There we go. So if you look, you're going to want to take your power washer and later your Krown. And you're going to want to spray behind the frame there and just try to power wash all the way up through that frame rail. You know, all the way up through the frame rail from the back, blow everything out, and then come back down this way, blow everything out the best you can. Go inside any holes like this, spray out through there. And I like to just stick the wand in there and just hold the trigger down for a minute at a time. So I apologize for the massive mess that I have on my table. I got more projects going on than I planned on for today. But anyway, what you're going to want to get to spray the Krown is really any I've found, and this is obviously a Harbor Freight one, not super high quality, but I've had it 5 years and it's worked great. Just a siphon feed spray gun. I think these are like high pressure, low volume, I don't know, whatever the thing is, but that's the one I have. It's like 20 bucks at Harbor Freight, super cheap. It's actually held up pretty well. If you want to invest in an actual dedicated undercoating sprayer, that's probably a better idea. But this has seemed to work really, really good for me. I like how much it atomizes the, it actually like atomizes the fluid, so it seems to reach a lot of, you know, panels, like inside panels and stuff. So then what you're basically going to do is, oh, hey buddy. No, I'm not throwing a rock to you. My dog likes to pick up rocks, and then he carries the rocks around in his mouth, but then he expects you to throw a rock to him, and I'm just not going to do that for a whole lot of reasons. Anyway, let's grab the creeper here so I'm not crawling around on the ground. So I finished this. You can see I ran the air hose out here. But basically what you're going to do... Woo! Take your sprayer and you just spray everything underneath the truck. This is not rocket science. So if we start off at the front here, you can see there's a nice, you know, wet film on here of Krown. So you just literally spray everything. So what I do, start right at the front, you know, get all up inside the bumper. And then I like to just spray inside all these holes. I like, you know, wave the gun around, spray inside the holes. Any of these round tubes, if you have them on your truck, go up there, spray inside all the round holes. And long story short, you go all the way down the, all the way down the outside, or all the way down underneath the truck. Spray everything you can. And then when you get to the rockers, which were there, going to want to, come on camera, spray inside, spray inside all the drain holes, spray inside these, those are the plugs we took out earlier, those black plugs, spray inside there, and obviously spray the outside of the rocker too. And basically, yeah, you just want to hit every single square inch of the truck, every single square inch except the exhaust, of course, because that's, you know, it'll just burn right off the exhaust. And it stinks. So try to avoid the exhaust the best you can, but it won't hurt anything if you don't to fully avoid it. Yeah, so basically we just spray everywhere. I like to make sure you get over your gas tank the best you can. That's your fuel, the top of your fuel pump. That's the word. Sending unit. There's the word I'm looking for. It can get all rotted. Now here's a key thing as well. So spray the crap out of your spare tire jack because they get all stuck up. But also on these guys, dog's barking. Inspect the end of your cable because they like to rot right here, and then your tire will fall off, and that's not so good. And then lastly, come right out to here. I usually do the trailer hitch up to here, and then I like to leave the actual hooks dry just because your hands will get covered in this crap when you go to hook up a trailer. You can definitely spray inside here too, but I don't know. Mine's loose enough that I'm not afraid of the hitch getting stuck in it, and it's not like it's gonna rot, so I don't really worry about it. But do whatever you want to do there. And then a big one too. So I like to spray inside the, you know, get up. This is the bedside, right? So get up into the sides of the bedside. So just reach your arm way up in there and just spray the crap out of it, and you should be in good shape. So all that's left to do now, I also just pressure wash these off quick just to get the big stuff off of them. Just when I'm putting them on, they won't be as nasty and greasy. They're going to get greasy and dirty again anyway because the truck leaks some oil and stuff here and there. So it is what it is, but it'll be better for putting them on. So I just cleaned those off, so I just got to put that stuff back on. You can tell from earlier, right? Pressure wash this wheel off so it's all nice and clean. And if we flip it back over, you can see, you know, got most of the crap out of there. A little bit left, and I forgot to crown this. I always crown the wheel too, so if you have a steel wheel, you should crown it. Even you could aluminum too, but not quite as important. So I will go ahead and do that. And yeah, you can see where, what I also like to do is I like to just open the hood and I just wash, very high level, just wash all this crap off, because it'll get all salty by the time spring comes. And then, if you look down in here, just at the front of the motor, you know, again, just a real high level rinse. I don't want to get crazy and, you know, get water and all that crap and break stuff. So I got everything done, crowned up, ready to rock and roll. Just kind of taking her for a little drive real quick just to make sure that we got, you know, as much of the dripping off as possible, and just kind of save the driveway a little bit and help spread it around. And honestly, it's a nice day out. Finally spring broke here in upstate New York, so I wanted to go for a little cruise. Sun's going down. It's nice and pretty out here. I'll flip the camera around. Just a beautiful spring day. So I figured have a bit of an excuse to just go take a little spin out on the road, so why not? Not doing too bad for 176,000. Looked pretty good under there when I was crowning everything. A little extra rust every winter, but nothing at all compared to if I didn't do the power washing every spring and crowning procedure. So I do in the winter time, or before winter time, touch it up. I don't usually rewash it just because it doesn't seem to get that dirty over the summer. And then I'll just give it a real good coating again right before the snow falls. And then I let it ride all winter. Come springtime, I do it, wash it, do it all over again, and well, that's been my process for the last 5 years. So the results, I think, speak for themselves. For an upstate New York truck that's been up here most of its life, I think it's faring quite well. And keep in mind, I've only owned it, you know, I didn't own it before that was 5 years ago. So if it had been crowned since day one, I'm sure it'd just be in that much better shape too. So stuff definitely works. You just got to be good about using it and applying it. So with that being said, have a great day, everyone. Enjoy your weekends, enjoy your weeks, and see you next time.